Welcome back to AWROPE will remember our podcast eventually. AWROPE for short. In this episode, this very special episode, we are continuing on our Mistborn Era 1 journey and going into our discussion of the hero of ages. Who that hero is, we just don't know quite yet. But what we do know leading up to this is that whatever was at the Well of Ascension is now out.
And I'm sure that's fine.
Right.
Nothing bad happens.
Nothing. It's like a genie leaving a lamp. I am free. Which
That's not foreboding. They just wanted freedom.
So
and don't we all?
I mean, I know the Lord Ruler said something that he was holding back, and there was something at the Well of Ascension, but it's probably fine, right?
Mm-hmm. He was just a misunderstood guy.
He's
keeping. He was. You know what? He was a bad guy. He was keeping something trapped and hidden away.
Right.
And now that's free.
Right. There's definitely not things that we'll see in this book that change our opinion of what the Lord Ruler was doing for 1,000 years.
That has never happened ever once.
No, we don't change our opinions on new information. That's just not the way in 2026.
No, why would we change our opinions? No, you choose one path and that is it. And that is the Lord Ruler is hot and did nothing wrong.
That's correct.
And that's a hot take. Ciao.
This episode contains spoilers for Mistborn Era 1, Mistborn's Secret History, Mistborn Era 2, and the Stormlight Archive Era 1. Anyway, so that's what we know leading into this. We know the ATM is pretty much gone, and things are going to be running out pretty... resources are getting thin. We know they control Koloss now through some emotional allomancy and duralumin pushing, so that is kind of where our story starts, so... Well, how does this book open, Mike? It's very exciting.
So we had a lot of stuff happen in the last book, and thank God by the time we read it, book 3 was already out, because otherwise I would have been devastated if I couldn't continue reading.
Mm-hmm.
So this one opens up, and we finally get our first sneak peek of hemalurgy, and being shown explicitly with Marsh actually creating a brand new Inquisitor, regaining his mind momentarily before something takes back control.
Yeah.
And what a banger of an opener of like super hardcore gritty of like getting an understanding and perspective on what happened to Marsh, but also seeing that he is still not quite himself.
Right.
And trying to understand that dynamic too. Like right off the bat, you get a new magic system introduced, a little bit of explanation of what the hell Inquisitors are, and them being puppeted.
Yeah, and it is a bloody, brutal process. What we see is hammering a spike through and in the intro, it's a terraceman, which is like, oh, what are their powers then? Is it allomancy? Is it ferrochemy? What is it?
Can they do both? Like,
get you a man wwho can do both.
Get you a man that can do both.
We call them twinborn.
Get you Marsh.
Get
Gwendolyn Christie.
If you haven't seen it already, we had a banger of a fan casting episode for live action Mistborn. So we have structured this even better now. Not only have we broken it into parts, we also consolidated points of view, so we're not jumping around too much. Kind of gonna go over what happens in each part per POV, and then do our discussion from there. So should be a little shorter this time around. So part 1 takes place from chapters 1 to 13, and we see the part 1 opens with Ellen arriving to a town, some unnamed town, I believe, to help a man named Thatrin and his people. And he says, "I am your leader. I am your emperor." And they're like, "No, you're not. You're not that guy." And he's like, "No, I'm that guy. And you probably should come join us in a fight because Koloss will be here any second." So
that right there makes me think of Monty Python, of like King Arthur showing up like, "I am your king. Well, I didn't vote for you."
Literally kind of what's happening. He's like, "No, you're not that guy." So Ellen and Vin fight Koloss until they draw out the one controlling the Koloss and Inquisitor, and kind of gets the upper hand until she's able to kill him by controlling a Koloss, taking control of one of them, and finishing off the Inquisitor during that battle. Then Ellen takes control of all the Koloss, and they start talking about the losing battle against the Thing released at the Well of Ascension. Then they actually go into the town and find the Ministry building with another metal plate, as every one of these caches they're finding seems to have a metal plate, and it warns them that anything they say or write can be learned by the enemy, and only your thoughts are safe. And the cache shows where the the plate shows where the final cache is, which is in Fadrix City. Vin and Ellen are telling people to get inoculated by the mists. And it's weird. A very specific number of people are succumbing and dying to illness when it comes to the mists, this like mist sickness going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then Vin tries to get info out of our first named Koloss named Human. And he's not letting up any info about where baby Koloss come from. You can imagine a little baby Koloss, a little blue guy running around. Saggy skin, really gross, probably. So then we get a cutaway to our favorite Inquisitor, Gwendolyn Christie. And once again, we see a bit of this lucidity. And Inquisitors now have Terrace spikes in them, made from Terrace men. So they're actually getting access to powers they didn't even have access to before. I believe that the first Koloss, or the first Inquisitor they fought in here, actually was able to move at very unnatural speeds.
Mm-hmm.
And speed is not something that Allomancers have access to. That is a Feruchemist thing. Marsh is wishing Ruin would just take control of him permanently because it's just too painful, but then decides, after thinking about some things, that he's going to hold out and wait for his moment to strike when Ruin is not ready for it. Then we get a cut over to Tensoon returning to the homeland. He is in a puddle of his own goop, gets pulled out by hooks. He's getting burnt by acid. They gave him a skull and then immediately started burning for him, but he was able to regenerate really quickly and say, I deserve a trial. And so then they had to be like, okay, fine. Like if you died beforehand, then you wouldn't be an issue, but because you're so awesome, you're able to call for that soon. And we see him get taken to a trial, and we get to see Milan for the first time, which I never made the connection in Era 2 that Milan in Era 2 was one of the Kandra in Era 1.
No, I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Different from Mulan.
Different from Mulan.
Yeah, like very similar characters, but just slight differences too, just in case people get confused.
Right. I know it's very, very difficult to discern those two things.
Yeah.
But Mulan and Milan.
Yeah. Mulan,
and Mushu,
Milan,
we're getting.
Mushu, Moulin Rouge, all different. Wow. I promise. You got to keep it straight.
I can only count to 4, so any more things after that, and I'm...
You said 1 through 13, and I said, what chapter is 13?
So they start grilling him on breaking his contract. He says he broke the contract with Zane because the greater contract with the father, Lord Ruler, it now goes to Vin because she's the mother, and they should pledge service to her. So he's trying to convert everyone to Vinism, and they're not having it. Then we get to cut to Breeze and Sazed in the Kansai region, and they're looking for treaties. Kind of what they've been doing is going and looking for kind of bringing people under the alliance, because it's easier to work with people than force them to be under your control. But Ellen did say...
Lord Ruler did it for 1,000 years.
And Ellen tried, and he was voted out by his own government, so now he says, this is why we can't have nice things, people. I will be a tyrant, I guess. And they meet back up with Vin, and at this point, Sazed's depression is in full force. Since losing Tyndall, he doesn't believe in any of his religions. He's having trouble believing any of them have truths, and Vin gives him that picture of the Marrow flower that Kelsier left for her from Min. From Mare. Min is a character from The Wheel of Time. The gang is all back together, and they're discussing next steps. Ash has fallen, the mists are coming earlier, they're choking out the sun, they're making it hard to grow crops. There's a cache in Urto that is up in the air because they lost control of the town, and they need to be claimed because there's supplies in them that helps them prepare for a cataclysmic event. The Lord Ruler was planning ahead, and then they talk about the need to expose the army to the mist so that they are not taken at an inopportune time. Just get it out of the way. And then Ellen asks the question, what would Kelsier do? But he's not a believer in the survivor. Some people are like, don't use my man's name.
Get my man's name out of your mouth.
Right. So pretty packed first part.
Oh, yeah.
We get a glimpse. I think it's about 6 months to a year into the future. We get a glimpse at a very drab picture being painted. Shit's not growing anymore. There are volcanoes going off. There's so much nonsense happening ever since this thing was released at the well. So strong start.
Oh yeah, there's a lot to unpack here, and there's a lot of different side stories that are going on too. So I know it can be a little hard to keep track of it, but I feel like it's it's a great way to start off the continuation of everything, because it's really like, even though it is a time jump, it still feels like we are continuing the story from book 2. It's not like a huge jump. There's not much of a disconnect versus the threads that were done in the book 2 that continued on into book 3. You get just more expansion on the characters. You get more expansion on the storyline, learning about the Inquisitors, Sazed still being depressed sad boy and going through all of his religions and disproving them is kind of heartbreaking. But then again, in traditional Brandon fashion, there is still just a little bit of hope that he throws back in there too, especially with the picture of the flower that Vin provides to him.
Yeah, it's quite beautiful. We don't get this huge, it's not like Children of Dune to God Emperor of Dune where it's like thousands of years has passed. We're talking a very short amount of time, and things have gotten bad quick since this thing at the well was released. So, and we start getting some closer looks at its influence, and it's pretty rough.
And Ellen is putting on his best Lord Farquaad right now as the Emperor, of putting out his army into the mist. Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but it's a good point. Like, do you wait until you're ambushed and then you have to come out in the mists, and then we'll get to that number soon, but 16% of your army all of a sudden falls sick, and you've lost nearly a fifth of your army.
I can't count to 16, but I can do groups of 4.
I was going to say it's a multiple of 4. We got there.
4 groups of 4.
Quick maths. 2 plus 2 is 4. Minus 1, that's 3. Quick maths. Everyday man's on the block.
And we got connected for free
with Education Connection.
I was going
to continue, but I was like, I won't stop. So what would Kelsier do?
What would Kelsier do? Kelsier would lean so hard into the survivor religion and keep pushing. I don't know that he would have been the correct leader in this scenario.
I think he knew that.
I think he understood that he was most likely going to have to be a martyr, and recognizing that he was gaining this not infamy, but this like ethereal godlike status that could be utilized.
Sure.
So I think he would probably, if he was still actively around at this point, would lean harder into the religious aspect and utilize that portion as like his army and support. And I think we would see even more division between him and the original crew.
Sure.
Versus trying to lead everybody.
Right.
I don't know how well of the survivor would actually do with helping the people survive.
I think it'd be a lot more my way or the highway, a lot more brutal, probably a lot less diplomatic. And we already see a step down of the diplomacy from Ellen. I think it would be a lot more authoritarian under Kelsier.
I feel like it would end up being a repeat, just history repeating itself with a new quote unquote Lord Ruler.
History never repeats itself. Everything's fine, people.
Nothing about today. It looks anything like the past.
No, ever.
Not even a person.
Not even a person. Not a thing. Not a concept. Nothing.
So let's go back to I wanted to talk about. Oh, they learn from the caches that whatever thing they released and is being influenced can understand and hear everything they speak or write. But that is carved into a piece of metal, which also lends the question, can they trust that? Because is it established that can't be manipulated at that point?
It is, I think, established already that anything in metal you can trust. Because I think they found that out with the manipulation of the writings, the rubbings.
Yeah.
When, you can't trust your rubbing. Whatever joke you made last time, that was really good. And so, yeah, that was established. Also, they start learning about new metals from these caches. There's not just 10. Actually, well, we knew there was an 11th, but there's actually possibly 14 known metals now. We don't know about that magical 16 number yet. We know there's 16.
But it's very mystical, magical. Benson Boone. Do you want me to
That sounds like a dog's name. Those are 2 dog names put together. I've never met a Benson nor a Boone. The only Benson I know is from regular show, and he's literally a gumball machine. Which brings the question. Is Benson's little front flap, is that his butthole? Or his penis? You decide in the comments.
You decide. Who's to say? I'm gonna go with it's a cloaca.
You know, they are kind of like eggs that come out. I like that.
Mhm.
He's got a front cloaca.
Yep. He's
A
efficient.
cloacy. We have to move on. We have to move on.
I'm still recovering from cloacy.
What were we talking about? I've lost
The new metals, and we don't know about the magic number. And
Right.
then I started going on a side quel for
a side quel, of course.
if you will,
Bringing it back.
bringing it back.
Anything else in part 1 that's interesting? Yeah. So we get a look at the mist sickness,
Yes,
and that is a little foreshadowing of some things to come, but we don't. It's kind of just a weird thing. It's like, oh, well, because we saw that in book 2, people were getting violently ill and shaking in the mist, and that's becoming more common.
And I think it's interesting that Ellen recognizes that he struggles with getting the gang to follow his own leadership, but that they still respect and ideate around Kelsier and his leadership style and how he had brought them all together. So he recognizes that and asks that question, what would Kelsier do? Because he's struggling to get them to all start thinking together about how do they progress, because he recognizes that he still needs their help, and in order to also help save society.
Right.
Because we all live in a society.
It is pretty awesome, too, how we're speaking about the caches and stuff like that. Just the amount of prep time that the Lord Rulers had to prepare them for an event like this. It doesn't excuse the horrible things Rashek did.
No.
But it does show that in a rock and a hard place, I think he was really trying his hardest. So, and we get a cool look at the Terror Society, not the Terror Society, the Conjure Society.
Conjure, yes.
Oh. Terror Society. But that's deeper in the book that we explain why those have so many similarities. So yeah, we get to look at like, the first generation, the second generation. You know, he's part of the third generation. Milan's part of the fourth generation.
We don't see the first generation yet, do we?
We only hear references.
We only hear references? Okay.
Well, we can infer that there is a first generation because they mention the second generation and needing to be, going to a trial with them. So we get this interesting like structure of like, what are the contracts? We kind of hear about the homeland, and we hear about like the contracts and things like that. So very cool, like quick world building.
Oh yeah.
Like just really throws you in and does a very good job, I think, without it feeling so overwhelming.
And Tensoon's like, can't handle me at my goop, don't deserve me at my skeleton.
Exactly.
Marilyn Tensoon. Okay. Yeah, first part. Great. Banger. So part 2, chapters 14 to 33. Not multiples of 4, so I don't know what those numbers are. But so we have now we get insight into Spook. So we get a continuation of Spook's story and where he's been going through. And now he is basically like full daredevil. He has flared tin for so long that his sensitivity to seeing stuff is so strong that he has to wear a blindfold. But he can still see, which is wild.
And tin is not just sight.
No.
Every pebble he walks on, he can feel it, and every sound is it's nuts.
Every move he makes, every step he takes, he's in constant pain.
Yes. Reference. Don't worry, I got you, baby.
Yep, thank you, appreciate it. So he is currently doing stuff. He's spying on Quellian, aka the Citizen. He is crushing hard on Quellian's sister. I
remember being a 16, 17-year-old boy and crushing on a dictator's sister.
Yeah, absolutely. Quellian is currently burning nobles, though another thief named Dern says count the skulls, inferring there is, again, more to what is currently happening. So he does confront Veldre, gets into a fight with some guards who are in turn Allomancers. He is able to hold off 3 of them, but is stabbed by a sword through a thug who died, and then he passes out. And then, something happens.
Yep.
So a mysterious figure who resembles Kelsier leads him to allomantic vials, and he can now burn pewter.
Because it's the Lord, it's Kelsier, man. He's the Lord of the Mist is just giving him powers.
Yeah, he's just a survivor, man. He's just being able to provide him everything. So, he gets pierced, finds something, and can burn pewter. Crazy. And then he notices metal in shoulder from the sword, but Kelsier says leave it in as a trophy of his survival.
Yeah, I picture it as just a little tip of the sword was stuck inside of him.
Yeah.
After going through an Allomancer.
He should also Maybe get an earring or something too. Just
Right.
like really complete the set.
Right, exactly.
Mhm. And you would think as a burning tin, that would hurt like a bitch constantly having something pierced in you.
Oh, I'm sure. But
Like-
now he has pewter to help offset it.
Oh, there you go. That's true. Vin is starting to have doubts about the Mist being an ally. Human, the Koloss that is now named, also agrees, saying the Mist hate him and Vin, which is, again, interesting insight to receive from a Koloss who don't necessarily show that much of like awareness.
Mhm.
So it's interesting to see Human becoming more and more aware and cognitive of what's happening.
And Vin goes so far as to declare the Mist now her enemy.
Yes.
I forgot to add that in, yeah.
Ellen continues to send his soldiers into the Mist, and many of them continue to get sick, but a decent percentage do survive, including Demo. Norden of the Ministry crunches numbers and calculates every time that a group gets sick. It's always 16% of them
Mm-hmm.
every time. Sazed does go to the pits of Hathsin,
Mhm.
on the way to Urtrio to see the terrorist refugees. And they say that no terrorist people have been made sick by the mists. Interesting.
Only the ska, huh?
Only the ska.
Just the ska.
Just the ska. Terrorist people don't really appreciate ska music. So,
Right.
yeah, that's probably why.
Not Bowling for Soup fans
No.
at all.
Which
You
is a
love
big
how
shame.
I can never think of any other ska band but Bowling for Soup.
And honestly, you're so right for that, King. So we see Milan visits Tensoon.
What about like Fishing for Pasta? Six Sister Band.
Hey, we could do Steel Push Lobotomy for a metal band, and then we can go fishing for pasta as our ska band.
I love it.
It's perfect. It's great. No notes. Milan visits Tensoon in his cell and urges him to challenge the second generation, who are too complicit in the global events, and he says no in case people are eavesdropping. So we're getting more insight as to where Tensoon has relationships and connections to the Kandra, as well as where they are involved and their mindset is as a people.
Well,
as a
we
creature.
immediately see a schism between the
Yes.
fourth and like the second and any
Immediately.
other generation.
Mhm. And what's also interesting is the perspective of Kandra wanting to look like people.
Right.
And they bring the Kandra, as thinking it's a punishment, bring him his wolf body, which is like, y'all done fucked around,
Right.
and you're about to find out. And
oh yeah, and to touch on that, because they all have these usually a set of bones made from this. It's called their true body. It's something I didn't touch on in here, but their identity is like, and as the generations have gone on, they've gotten a lot more like intricate and experimental with body portions and unique sets of bones carved from like ivory or like gemstones and stuff like that. So we end up seeing a lot of like interesting individuality amongst these goop creatures. Which is really cool. But yeah, it's like, oh, you have to wear dog body. You're so beneath us. And he's like,
but I'm the best boy.
My trap card.
My trap card. Me, best boy. So after being sentenced to 10 generations of imprisonment, which is a very long time, he dips the fuck out of there with his now superior canine ability, which also, I believe, still had the special bone, right?
The blessings?
Yeah, the blessings.
The extra, no,
it's without.
Orser's blessings of potency.
Yeah.
No, he hid that. That's hidden.
Oh, that's right. He picks
So
it up later.
that comes up in a little bit.
So we cut away from him escaping like a badass from the Kandra imprisonment. And then we cut back to the army arriving at Phaedrix. The city is being ruled by Yeoman the Obligator, which is, I'm really happy that they have an Obligator character that we get to expand upon, because I feel like that wasn't, we didn't visit that quite enough in the earlier books. I think it's really interesting to see one rise to power and leading everybody.
Well, we also see, so Norden is an Obligator. And so Norden has allied and kind of been like, fine, you're a ruler. I'll do stuff for you, I guess, Ellen. And then we have the opposite of like, oh no, like,
yep. I will
the
lead.
Ministry and the Lord Ruler still have power.
I am the captain now.
Exactly.
Set gives Vin informants to seek out. Hinton meets Slow Swift, who tells her about a ball being held that evening by Yeoman. She does go to seek out a second informant, a beggar known to hum to himself, but gets the ick for some reason and dips out. Doesn't trust whoever she happens to be go see.
Yeah, she just gets a bad feeling in the pit of her stomach. No outside forces are helping this at all.
Nope.
She just has a feeling all on her own.
Mm-hmm. What is this feeling? So sudden and new.
Exactly.
She scouts out Yeoman's place, but feels elementic pulses of a possible Mistborn around.
Mm-hmm.
And she returns to the army and tells Ellen that she does, in fact, finally think she is the hero of ages, which is a huge development because she was debating back and forth for quite a while. But finally committing to that, and then
she's like, maybe I really am. Maybe I messed up at the well, but like, I still think I'm the hero of ages.
Yeah, maybe I am the chosen one. Have you all considered I am the best?
Mm-hmm.
He dismisses it because Ruin messes with prophecy, and what she understands about the hero of ages was written down on paper. Because Sazed rubbed one out, and Vin read it.
Of course.
And you can't always you don't have that post-rubbing clarity.
Though I do believe now they do have the updated prophecies.
Yeah, because it's not a post-rubbing clarity.
Exactly.
There we go. They decide to crash the upcoming ball, and they start running around. Ellen gets called a hypocrite by Yeoman, debating philosophical theory. And Ellen says that they need the cash for the greater good. They dance at the ball. Ellen pulls out a book, which is really cute. Like, it's such a nice, tender moment with all this like destruction going around.
He like ruins the moment by doing the thing he did when they met. It's super cute.
They dip and tell people they're offering safe passage to their camps because obviously everybody is aware of the army there, and them showing up to the ball is a really like huge move,
very
like
ballsy
very
statement, if you will.
Blind right in your face.
Not a single person goes to the camp, by the way.
No.
I think that's established. And not a single one left Adrix.
And then we cut back to Sazed, Breeze, Goradel, and Alrian arriving at Urtrio. Spook is disguised as a guard, leads them to the ministry building and the cache. All the water, interesting, has been diverted to a hidden underground lake. And Spook says Kelsier is the one true god and is watching over them. Yep. I know we did some discussion too, but yeah, reactions, thoughts.
Yeah, it's so there's a couple of cool things that happen in this. Before I forget, Slow Swift, the first informant she meets in Fadrix, he actually seems to have some Cosmere awareness. Whether or not he's a world hopper, we don't know, but he specifically mentions like Spren and Shades, the Shades of Threadany and Spren. So Slow Swift is a very weird mystery, and I have a feeling eventually
he's going to come back.
He's going to come back or something. And then the second informant we now know is Hoyd. And we know that what is happening to Vin when she gets the ick is in Secret History. And Secret History spoilers, of course, it's more of a reminder to myself to tag at the beginning, is that Kelsier is kind of watching her during this time, and he sees Hoyd, who punched him in the face. Which, another thing about that that's really funny, Hoyd's Dawn Shard, Torment, says he can't do harm. But you can't really harm a cognitive shadow.
Yes.
So he was very surprised when he got to beat the shit out of Kelsier in the cognitive realm when he's essentially trapped.
And it's also interesting to see that Hoyd's also punishment of being in the right place where he's needed ends up being in the cognitive realm to deal with him. Which is very interesting.
Right, because the well is preservation's perpendicularity. So how you get into the physical realm from Shadesmar. Well, not Shadesmar, the cognitive realm. Shadesmar's only a Rosharan turn. We're getting into some nitty gritty here. But I love that because Slow Swift in hindsight is like, whoa, that's pretty crazy. So, yeah, and it's funny because the Terrace people are already at the Pits of Hathsin, which is a huge, like, that's a very relevant location for reasons we'll see later. The Terrace people, the Ferrochemists aren't getting signals. There's a lot of really interesting breadcrumbs leading up to what the Mists are actually doing. What Preservation's final gift to Scadrial is, as he is, well, we now know from Mistborn Secret History, he's deteriorating. His prison on Ruin is gone, and he is slowly kind of just losing his mental faculties. He can't remember things super well. You know, we get a very interesting look at all that in Secret History.
Also degenerating.
Yeah. For us, it's just called dementia. We don't have magic powers.
Very early onset dementia.
Yeah. And I love that we're starting to see a little bit of a side of Kolos we haven't seen before. It's very interesting.
That storyline of more expanding on human and getting that perspective and more personality to a Kolos that is currently just a killing machine that can be influenced via allomancy is super interesting as like a character development, like storyline. I also love seeing more influence from Ruin without it explicitly being there.
Yeah.
Because it's again being hinted at and explained of like, oh, he's got pierced. All of a sudden he can do extra things and is seeing shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then Vin is also being influenced of is starting to not trust the Mist, starts to believe that she's the hero of ages too. And we just see other subtle influence again.
And then you think back to the Well of Ascension, and Zane had was stabbed with a piece of metal too. Really weird. And then something was talking to him, who seems to have a similar voice to.
Or Brandon Sanderson could just be really into puncture wounds.
That's true. It's just his thing.
He just likes piercing.
As a man who probably has no visible tattoos or tattoos at all, nor piercings, really into that shit.
A Tensoon escaping the Khandra. Such a sick moment of, you know what, accepting and learning to become more than what his own society dictates it.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure he even talks about more in the books about he actually enhances that form even further with better muscle layouts and structures, and basically makes him like a super hound.
He's a super dog.
He's a super dog. Just like Crypto.
Yeah.
That's
Tensoon is crypto.
Tensoon is crypto. Cryptocurrency. Yo, Tensoon, $sign Tensoon coin going up right now. This is a pump and dump. I mean, it's not a pump and dump. We're taking it to the moon, guys. Oh, I can't wait until we get to the point of the distant future in the Cosmere where there's cryptocurrencies. I can't wait until you use emotional allomancy. They're just
mining. Mining.
They're quite literally mining crypto in the pits of Hathsin.
What's a crypto spread look like? Is that just NFTs?
Yeah, it's just a really douchey guy on Twitter. The only thing you're allowed to dead name is Twitter. Sorry, I'm not calling it X. Fuck you. I think,
but X gonna give it to you.
Yeah, and then we're also seeing some very interesting things happen in Urtel. There's a cache there that needs shit. They're like, whoa, where's all the water going? Why is there a reservoir underneath? Very weird. It's almost like each cache in each location was built for a specific purpose to help for a specific purpose when a certain time comes to schedule.
Crazy.
Yeah. Ton of water.
And then we also get Spook helping and being even such more of an influence and taking more autonomy on his own, when previously it was very much like he would do what he was instructed and try to figure it out from there. And so we've seen a lot of growth from him as a character, but we also see again that influence, and now he is fully committed to the religion of Kelsier, which is fascinating.
Yeah. And a lot of his actions are explained as a heavy guilt of losing clubs during the battle at Luthadel, when the siege of Luthadel. And basically he felt that he hasn't done enough. Oh, everyone Vin's a Mistborn. Breeze I'm just Spook. I'm just boring old Spook. And we see a little bit of that sulking, especially when Vin and Ellen are sent out of the city in 2. And he's very down on himself and lacking a lot of confidence, lacking a lot of purpose. He feels that he hasn't. So this is his way of atoning. He's like, well, I'm going to be the best damn 10-eye possible. And so I'm going to flare it. And during this time, some of the epigraphs are crazy during book 3, because we start getting a little bit more of a look into the deal between ruin and preservation. We look at, explains kind of more about hemalurgy. It explains more about what's called an allomantic savant, which when you are constantly doing something over and over and over again, like burning tin, it's kind of hinted that whatever comes of that person, they're no longer fully human, because a specific part of them is so exponentially more powerful than their normal human counterparts.
Bro, if you just go to the Allomancy gym, you can get so swole, and that's exactly what Spook did.
Yeah, and then you make sure you drink your your Allomancy recovery formula to just make sure your gains are just being maintained. You know what I'm saying?
Lots of lead and tin.
Right, lots of lead and tin. The healthiest things to put into your body. Lead, especially. Love it.
And you keep it fresh with aluminum.
Right, you got to detox with the aluminum. You got to
clear out the system and then get ready for your next, dose of lead and tin.
Right, I'm allomaxing right now.
I'm allomaxing. That's a good. I like it. I love Spook's story of like really starting out in Hell's Kitchen and just like learning to fight and see without being able to, being able to see using his 10 eye stuff too. Like, it's so sick. I can't wait till he fights Kingpin.
Gordon Ramsay. You said Hell's Kitchen, right?
Mm-hmm. So Hell's Kitchen is a place in New York where Daredevil origin was from.
So Daredevil's been Gordon Ramsay this whole time?
Daredevil is Gordon Ramsay.
That's crazy.
That's why his taste buds are so good, because he's blind.
Yeah.
It enhances his other senses.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you for clarifying that.
You're welcome. I'm here for this. Hey, you ready for part 3?
Yeah, I'm ready. Great segue.
Great segue.
Are we getting worse at this show?
Are we forcing bits? No, I'll be damned before I bring back a reference or a bit again. Our podcast.
In the middle of our podcast. Okay, back to business.
Yeah, okay, back to business. Part 3.
Okay, chapters 33 to 44 is part 3. So, the storylines are starting to develop. We got a little thing going, a little stalemate at Fadrix. We've got Urto is being controlled by someone. And then we have Tensoon just causing mayhem amongst the Conjure, which he's very good at. So Marsh, it cuts to first Marsh reveling in more killing, making more hemalurgic spikes from innocence. I think they show him specifically making a hemalurgic spike out of a thug, if I'm not mistaken. He enters Luthadel and is able to infiltrate the capital or wherever Lord Penrod is staying, and actually spikes him in the heart with a hemalurgic spike, and it's positioned in a way that if he removes it, he will die. So the surgeon are like, well, we're just gonna have to keep it in. It doesn't seem to be like causing any more harm, which is exactly what Ruin wanted Marsh to do.
Yeah, but Lord Penrod, badass now. Like, I'm living with a spike in my chest, bro.
I'm pretty cool. Watch me ruin the city. Spook agrees to help one of Dern's henchmen, says he'll rescue his sister. Dern is the other kind of undercover, like almost like informant kind of in the area. He kind of cosplays as a beggar. And kind of starts, his like reputation's kind of starting to grow as this like kind of mysterious figure. And then there's an execution the next day that he says you should go to, and Kelsier tells, so at this point it's gonna be another execution, right? So all these nobles are supposed to be burned alive, and this goes along with the whole count the skulls thing, which we're gonna see kind of come into play here. They notice that there is like one less skull, and they're like, oh, interesting, there's people being escorted out somewhere. So he's able to find them and gets everyone out, except for another girl who is trapped in there with him, and he's actually able to like save her and burst out of this flaming building after Kelsier tells him to kill all these guards. So we see him kind of being a badass. He's burning pewter. He's jumping off of buildings. He's busting through flames and saves the sister and I think a bunch of other people.
He really burst through the fire and flames,
and he carries on.
And he's a big hero.
We're gonna get demonetized if I sing this too well.
5 seconds is what you get. 5 seconds of a song.
That's all I need. I can do it in 4.
Wow, champ over here.
So Survivor of the Flames, indeed, which actually does take on another connotation even later. We're not done with that moniker yet.
Nope.
So Demu is back up and moving. He was part of the people who took the longest to recover, which is a big deal for reasons we'll explain here in a little bit. He's back up and moving. He tells Ellen that a 16th of the people that are sick for 16 days, or they die beforehand. So there is something of this illness that is making certain people sick for a very specific amount of time, and some of them are not strong enough to make it through to the end. And of course, Demu, being follower of Kelsier, he thinks it has to do with him. He has been like a day one Kelsier stan. Part of that was the whole thing in the first book, is Vin thought he was being sneaky, but he's just going to hang out with his other like cult members.
Demu was really moved by Kelsier.
they're gathering around the campfire and singing their Kelsier song, their KELSIERSONG song. It kind of worked. I think I was missing a syllable there. And then, so, yep, Demu's back up and running, and there's even more weird things going on with the number 16. Very important number on Scadrial, just like we see that the number 10 is super important on Roshar. It's almost as if gods have like hyper sessions or something.
Mhm.
Are gods neurodiverse? That's crazy.
Do you think God stays in heaven because he's scared of what he created down here?
I mean, have you seen Threadany? All the shades and shit? Would you want to live in the hell?
I could do it.
I could do it.
Mhm.
I'm built different.
Mhm.
I'd survive the recreants. I'd survive the desolation.
Town never break. Neither will I.
Yeah, I could do what Town did, for sure.
Easy.
I don't cry over like...
I'd give them 2,000 years.
I spilled a bowl of cereal the other day and I kind of teared up, so maybe I couldn't. Okay, so there's an attack from Yeoman. Vin kind of just deals with it. They were just kind of testing some defenses. They think they're like, that's really weird. And then senses another Mistborn. Again, there's more Allomancers just following them. But it's not. We now know that that's Ruin, kind of keeping an eye on her because he's a lot more agency to move around and be in these places. It's not the Mist Spirit. It's not a Mistborn. It's something else. But that attack was a distraction, and while they were rebuffing that attack, Yeoman was able to kill half. I know that says have. I wrote this at very late at night last night. Took me many hours.
Hey, that says have, not half.
Hey, man, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
No worries. I'm always here for you, bud.
I really love that for you and me. But that was a distraction. Yeoman killed half of their 20,000 Koloss army, so 10,000 dead Koloss. Basically, did enough numbers that they battle rage, and then they started killing each other. Because we know that Koloss are a little temperamental. So
Yeah,
Ellen
they
gives,
just start their own mosh pit.
pretty much. They're like, wall of death. And then they just kill each other until they're tired.
Was that 4 seconds? Was that good for you?
Great for me.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank God.
How was it for you?
Honestly, it was a little long. I
Right.
feel like I could have gone for 3, but I
Clench
had
a little
to keep-
harder next time.
Okay, I got you.
Have we ever done an episode that we haven't made a J.O. joke? Or
Would it be all rope without one?
Fellas, is it gay to just talk about gay shit with your best friend? I don't know.
Is it gay to do gay stuff with your homie?
Probably.
We'd like to know. We have a lot of prompts to get in the comments this one.
Is this show gay enough for you? Please let us know in the
Should we rename it to 69th Shard?
We might have to.
Honestly. Wait till you see the next episode. Anyways. Koloss.
Anyway, yeah. So Ellen gives Vin 1,000 of the Koloss, and Human says, we have to make more Koloss. And she's like, what do you mean? And he goes and takes spikes from one Koloss, a dead Koloss, and goes to where a bunch of unconscious soldiers are. And she's like, whoa, wait. What were you about to do? And he's like, we have to make more Koloss. And she's like, oh God, they're like pinned in places that turn them into these things. That's crazy. And we get another look at a different application of hemalurgy that we haven't seen before.
Creating Smurfs. Creating murderous Smurfs.
So yeah, we now know how new Koloss are made, and we also know why. I mean, this. Oh wait, yes, and then we also get a look at how Inquisitors are made. They say, "Whoa, Inquisitors must be made the same way. That must have been why they were hunting Ska Mistings." Probably not just the only reason. Quelling the powerful magic people of the Uprising is probably a good way to make sure that they never come to power.
And then also,
it didn't work. It worked for a little bit. Yeah, so they're kind of really starting to piece together that there must be this third form of magic, because like Koloss don't make sense. Inquisitors are kind of like Allomancers, but then they also have powers like a Feruchemist does. This is really weird. And so we're starting to see some interesting applications, and I think they even go on to like make the connection to Khandra as well, that these must all be tools that the Lord Ruler made using this new form of power, which they don't have a name yet. All we know is that Marsh said to the crew during book 2 that the process of making an Inquisitor is a tricky, disgusting, bad business that he didn't want to talk about. And we know why.
It's just a little messy. Put some tarps down. Like,
right.
Get a little like cleaner. Do a little glad candle. You'll be fine.
Right. Exactly. Mr. Clean.
Unless you like the smell of iron, in which case, plenty of that.
Plenty of that. It's my favorite candle scent, actually. It's just blood.
It's just blood.
And then there is infighting with the Mistfallen soldier. The Mistfallen are the ones who were down for the longest, the ones who were sick or died after about 16 days. And they actually kind of start like separating the Mistfallen out to ease tensions. And
which we see more of the superstition building up amongst the people and the army too. So even special people that were affected by the mists are also being segregated out for being different versus the other people that experienced it.
Some people are twisting it as saying that the Lord of the Lord of the Mists, the Lord Kelsier you are disgraced, you are shamed by him. That's why you got sick. When we know that these are actually, we're creating something very special in this case, which is why they were sick for so long and so violently. Vin still can't calm the mists, and so she's kind of pleading with them. She's saying, please, 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 you helped me once before. You need to help me again. Even though she declared the mist the enemy, it's an enemies to lovers. It's lovers to enemies to lovers. You know,
the enemy of my enemy is my enemy.
Everybody wants to be my enemy.
Ooh,
Arcane. I still
is that a show?
Yeah, we didn't talk about it at length in the fan casting.
Never heard about it.
An Apple TV episode, but whatever.
But I bet it's pretty good.
It is pretty good, apparently. I haven't seen season 2. Vin and Elend are balling once again. They this time with the intent of finding that damn cache. So they enter, and there's kind of a tag team thing going on here. Elend's like, okay, I'll distract him. He loves talking philosophy. This guy's a fucking dork. And we could just riff on this all day. I read books. He's read books. We've read a lot of the same books. So we're going to be quoting shit. We're going to be quoting Shakespeare. It's going to be awesome. Plato, Socrates, all the great philosophers. We're naming them right here and now. And we're going to beef while Vin knocks out 2 women who were chasing her with the help of some of Slow Swift's men to store the bodies. And she goes looking for the cache. And then Elend is also like, fight me right here. And he's like, no, I'm an old man and you're a fucking Mistborn. Are you kidding me? But then Vin gets locked in the cache. So after clearing out the guards and sneaking in, it closes behind her and there's no metal anywhere around this. So she cannot push it or pull it back open. Ellen hears wind that she was captured and tries to feign attacking Yeoman to try to leverage, like, let her go. And then he's a little just too quick. It seems that he's burning Atrium because then he starts burning Electrum, which is like diet Atium. It kind of offsets Atium. It's really weird. It's not Malatium, which is the 11th metal.
Is it more Diet Coke or is it more Coke to Pepsi?
It's like RC Cola.
Oh,
really throwing it back there. So yeah, Yeoman's like, we have Vin, and Elend is like, fuck, okay, well, I have to get out of here because they're going to probably try to capture me next, and I have to get back and develop a plan. And then she senses an Allomancer and sees Reen, her brother Reen, the cache.
Oh my God, my brother Reen, I forgot about him.
She kind of did. It's been a while since she's, I think his voice has kind of come back, but she's seeing him now. But it's not actually him. There's something really weird going on here. Why is he pulsing like an Allomancer? Why is he pulsing like an Allomancer? Don't mind me, almost died.
Has it been 16 days since your illness?
Yeah. Throw something at me. I can't burn ATM.
Damn.
Me just
chewing
on a fork, trying to get the ATM. So then this is where we see Tensoon has made his great escape, and he actually finds where he hid Orsur's Blessing of Potency. I think there's 2 or 3 different types of potencies, maybe like 4. There's a few different types of potencies that give conjurers specific abilities. Orsur has the Blessing of Potency. Tensoon has the Blessing of, I don't remember. One of them
on screen.
I'll put up all the different blessings and what they do because it's actually pretty interesting, but we won't get into it here. And then so he's like, okay, well, I've got to find Vin. She's gonna save the day because she holds my contract, and I can't do anything unless I'm told what to do. So, and that is part 3
Yep.
Tensions are rising. Ruin is really like showing a lot of influence over stuff now.
And something I love about the way the Hero of Ages continues to read is like book 2 is a lot of build up, and yes, there's a lot of focus on an individual battle, but the individual battle is such a key point of like learning, more cash, more problems, as 50 Cent would say.
Did you say cash, not money?
Because it's a cash.
Oh, I was going to roast you, but that was really funny. Thank you for explaining the joke.
You're
it's
welcome.
funnier now.
Yeah, it's much better. I'm glad you got it.
Thanks. Yeah, I
got
actually,
you there.
I just wanted you to repeat it for the audience because I got it.
Cut. It's great, like, more cash, more problems, as 50 Cent would say.
Right. That's a funny joke, Michael.
Thank you so much.
Continue
it's original.
with your thoughts, please. Let's move on. Please move on.
I like how the Hero of Ages is really, it doesn't slow down a lot. It very much continues. You learn more consistently throughout all of these books, all the entirety of the book, leading up to the Sanderlanche at the end, which is wild to think about because we have so many reveals and so much additional information that's happening while we're exploring this. And there's a little bit of lulls of like it's drawing out this battle for this one city, which is may not be huge in the grand scheme of things. Of like we have this unknown entity that is influencing everything and Vin's seeing shit. But it's still so key to developing the storyline, and it constantly introduces more reveals of other stuff that's going on.
Right.
The heroes aren't perfect. They are being outsmarted by somebody else with Yeoman.
Squabbling and infighting because things are going very bad overall.
Yes. And the world is deteriorating around them, and they're still trying to lead and trying to find hope while they're being outsmarted by somebody else who also has their own goals and objectives to trying to survive too. So you see this kind of contrast again of the heroes not always being perfect and always succeeding, which I love and appreciate in a story because it gets very boring when everybody always wins and succeeds and they are continuing to fight and struggle through everything.
Right. There's definitely a lot of very intentional, a lot of things written to really humanize people and show that this is. And it's something I think Sanderson does very well is he writes characters that are believable as humans. We're in this weird alien world with magical powers, but these all feel like people we have known or have seen or know of in our everyday life. I think there's a lot of really impressive things that are captured in such a supernatural way, but also almost like mundane with how like normal these people are, despite how magnificent they are in the case of like Vin, who is just this amazing, very talented natural. She came into her Mistborn powers so fast. Kelsier was so shocked by how quickly she mastered all of the allomancy. But at the end of the day, she's still a teenage girl dealing with teenage girl shit. And that continues now. I think she's now finally like 18, 19 in this book. Elend is still in his like younger 20s. I think he's like 21 or 20 and she's 17 in the first book. So this puts them at like 22 years old, But yeah, all that to say, you really identify with a lot of these characters. Sanderson does a great job of writing so many different perspectives, mental illnesses, and other things to identify with. And even if you don't personally empathize with that, because I don't know what it's like being a teenage girl. I don't know what it's like to be like a Nepo baby trying to convince everyone he's better than his father. But it's written in such a way that it's just easy to get in the head of that person, which is I think really rare and is something that Sanderson should be commended on.
Yeah, honestly, his two best characters that he's written that are so relatable is Human and Marsh. Like honestly, like completely understand spikes to the eyes, being blue,
dabba dee dabba die. I really can't wait till we get to Stormlight because, like, I love Moash, and I feel like it was really I'm going to throw up if I continue this bit. So,
honestly, Moash, best misunderstood character.
He's just so much pain. Oh God!
Anyways, nothing bad happens to him, right?
Unfortunately, not.
I'm here for the Moash hate. All right, cool.
He also gets spikes in his eyes. Different kinds of spikes.
We'll talk about that. that shit was crazy. Cool. No, is there anything else you wanted to touch on?
No, I think we covered pretty much everything I
Yeah.
thought too. So
Sweet. Part 4, chapter 45 to 58. So, Vin is trapped now in this cache. So, more cache, more problems. She realizes that Reen is actually Ruin, as the pulses feel the same way as the thing at the well. So, she starts to pick up of like, I am hallucinating, but it's an intentional hallucination. Says he's been with her since she was a child and that all things must end. She begins exploring the cache and finds some notes from the Lord Ruler about Ruin, speaking to his mind and trying his best over his millennia of ruling to not listen to this outside influence. So imagine being a ruler for 1,000 years and somebody's telling you to always kill.
Yeah.
Yep. So she begins exploring everything, trying to find a way to escape and finds those notes. The cache door does open, and Teldon Hastings tells Vin to drink this drugged wine.
And Hastings was one of Ellen's drinking buddy.
Yes.
Philosophy buddies.
And she'll be freed. So Yeoman then takes her earring of silver and bronze and is confused since it's not relevant to Allomancers, returns it. One of Ellen's soldiers shows up to make sure that she's not a conjurer and reports to Ellen that she does live. Ruin starts talking to her and tells her to kill Yeoman. She's then returned to her cell, but she can still sense her 1,000 Kolos. Ruin begins explaining his position of like, hey, I'm not really a bad guy. It's just in my nature. I can't control it. He begins explaining his pact with preservation and that his power can no longer be used as he's dead. And then she realizes she must escape to foil Ruin's plans.
Right. He's so happy that she's locked up, and that's very important because he knows she can ruin the plans.
Everyone in her trio is wondering how Spook survived a 2-story drop and why he can burn pewter suddenly. Who's to say? They try to decide to get the water flowing into the canals again. Sazed gets to be an engineer and use his metal mines for the first time in a while. So I'm
so glad you said it that way. I was actually hoping you would.
So it's great to see him starting to do other things instead of just being a sad boy, being able to distract himself and work on something a little bit more productive. Breeze has been trying to help Sazed find something that makes him happy again. Beldred shows up to plead for her brother's life, and they capture her and tell the town that she has defected. So they're
like, stir the pot, stir the pot.
You're like, she comes up like, no, please release my brother. And they're like, you'd be great as a hostage.
Yeah. So how about we still plan to overthrow you and kill your brother, and you're our hostage?
Have you heard the audio of it's Allie Beardsley and Brennan? Brennan's just like, oh, am I being kidnapped? No. So am I free to go? No.
No, I haven't heard that. That's really funny.
It's very much like this scenario. The crew plans to expose Colion as a Allomancer and a hypocrite, since they are now actually part of the noble.
They're half Ska, half noble.
Half Ska, half noble. And Sazed finds a realization that he does need faith of some kind while he continues working on the water control system. They confront Quellion, and the forces fight each other. Beldre is a coin shot who can also see Kelsier. Interesting. Kelsier is telling him to kill Delbray and take her power. Spook is like, shit, this ain't right, and removes the spikes from Beldre and himself, and Kelsier vanishes.
I did write Delbray. They swapped those 2 letters in that previous point, and you did say Delbray. I was like, Delbray. Oh, my bad.
Action Man. Who the hell's Action Man?
Oh my God.
It's Delbray. Fires are starting to break out, and they try to release the canals, but the fires are in the way now. And Spook extinguishes his tin flaring, causing himself to become numb, and runs through the fire, activating the flood and saving the city.
So badass.
Such a sick moment. Like, God, I love Daredevil so much.
I know.
It's so great. There's another fight in the camp. Ellen sends Demure and the Mistfallen to Luthadel to help Penrod. I'm sure that'll go great. Ellen then finds more Kolos and takes them under his control.
He just finds 30,000 Kolos.
Just casually just milling around. Doesn't question it either. It's great. The Mist Spirit shows up and pretty much tells him the Mists aren't killing people. It doesn't want him to attack Phaedrix, points at his metal vials, and then shrugs when Ellen asks if they can survive. Can we survive?
Because he was doing wave your hands if yes, don't do anything if no. That scene is so awesome.
It's very much like Project Hail Mary, Grace trying to figure out how to talk to an alien Rocky.
You gotta stop referencing things I haven't seen or read, man.
You gotta start seeing more content, my guy. That's
I know. I'm so bad.
watch all the comments are gonna be like, oh, love that reference. Tony, start watching more things.
Just like we told Ryan to read the books in the first episode. Tell me to watch some movies because I'm so chronically offline when it comes to any TV show or movie or musical, apparently, which we learned before we started recording this episode.
You're just the guy who doesn't like musicals. That's another musical reference. Anyways, Tensoon arrives in Luthadel. The city is even more filled with ash now. Things are really bad. He doesn't find out where Vin is. He does find Kelsier's body, approaches guards who are of the Church of the Survivor, and learns that they think Penrod is absolutely insane, and they believe Ellen is in Urtrio. He tells the guards to hide when the mists vanish, and tells people of the church to seek shelter underground, and heads for Urtrio with Kelsier's bones. So he takes up the role of being Kelsier again, and feeds into the delusion.
Well, it's actually his first time being Kelsier.
That is true. That is correct, yeah. So yeah, he shows up and is like, what the fuck is going on? And then it's like, well, I can use this to my advantage, impersonate Kelsier, who's been dead.
Right.
And embolden the Church of the Survivors even more, even though it is for an ideal to try to help them survive.
And it's really important that he did that too, because we know that Demu and the other Mistfallen are heading towards Luthadel right now. So having people here to already have know an action, like a game plan, and Kelsier told you to find shelter. We're going to see where the really important thing that's going to happen at the end that effectively saves everyone is Tensoon telling people to go hide is how Demu and the others are going to end up being exactly where they need to be, exactly when they need to be there. Which is
perfect.
Awesome.
Amazing. Love the lead up and everything building on top of each other as we continue to see this. Vin trying to get out of the cache and Yeoman still figuring out ways to try to keep her in check. And while she's still battling the influence of Ruin. And Spook continuing to be a fucking badass.
He was under the influence of Kelsier for a bit. Mostly resisted his...
But he broke through it, which is crazy to think about.
He saw through it, realized this is not Kelsier. This is not right. She also has metal stuck in her. There's something weird going on. Let me just yank those out, which after lost his ability to burn pewter, Flarington, and then all these burns and stuff now. Poor Spook. He's going through it. But he's done a very important thing, and he released the water to the burning city and restored water to the area.
Again, great development for his character of still wanting to live up to an ideal of a man that was a huge influence for him that he admired, but then seeing through the tricks that were being played on him too. Again, showing off Ruin's influence and how he is literally everywhere and fucking with everybody too. Is so cool to see all these different stories and how Ruin is everywhere. Yeah,
and the Colossus that Ellen took over, an Inquisitor never showed up. Really weird that he just, 30,000 Colossus. Perfect in time to replenish our numbers. I'm sure that won't bite us in the ass.
Nope, not at all. It won't bring us any sort of ruin.
Nice. They're going to preserve...
That's my bit, okay?
So basically what we learned to kind of, because the storyline of Urto it was kind of a little bit all over the place by the way we told it, but essentially Quellion took up as the leader. He was like, we follow the survivor, fuck all the nobles. Hey, we're part nobles, but don't tell anyone that. Also, anyone who's an Allomancer we're saving, because it's like, wait, I thought you guys were like anti-Allomancy and anti all this, but you're Allomancers and also like your guards are Allomancers and also like you guys are nobles. You're phony. You're a big phony.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Exactly. So then, they kind of are able to upend that, which means they're going to have access to the cache. They're going to have access to what they need to help, which ultimately I don't think really matters with the events that are about to happen, what's needed in the cache there. But this development for Spook is super important. And also, Sazed's starting to kind of be like, oh, I am useful. I can still be I can still be helpful. There's maybe my story's not done yet.
And last comment for this too, I just realized because you said it correctly. It's Urto. I was saying like Urtrio.
Urtrio.
Yeah. Sick. Love that.
Don't worry.
Love that for me.
I won't actually do this, but I'll just take your voice where you say Urto correctly.
Oh, I just overlay it every time.
But I'll make it like really loud and bass boosted. So it'll be like when he goes to Urto. And I love that during this time, Breeze has been he's basically, you know how Adolin is for Kaladin, like hey, Bridge Boy, let's go shopping. Breeze is doing that for Sazed right now to be like, don't kill yourself, please. Man, please hang around.
He really is the Samwise to his Frodo.
He really is. And Breeze on this reread that I did is even more like special to me. I love Breeze so much. I think he has so much character depth that you don't really see in the first one.
Yeah. It's
really, I think, in book 2 and then in book 3 and then you go back and watch, like, listen in the first one, you're like, in the first book in Final Empire, and you're like, oh, dude, Breeze is fucking awesome.
He's great. Cool.
He's great.
Part 5.
All right, so part 5 is chapters 59 to 82. It's a longer segment, so we trade off in the middle of this one. So Tensoon arrives in Urto and is pissed that Vin is so far away. Sazed has continued going through his religions, which he started earlier in the book, and determines that every single one cannot be a real thing. Is about to leave when Tensoon's about to leave, he mentions giving regards to the announcer, which that's not the title given to me. I was the first witness. And then starts talking to Tensoon more about the Kandra religion, saying that it was believed that his packmen were actually the first nobles. But in fact, they were turned into mist wraiths and were actually the first generation of Kandra.
Crazy
Nuts.
Reveal. Absolutely insane.
So the moment that Sazed finds out and scratches all other religions as incorrect, he finds out that his own religion, the Terrace religion, lives on with the Kandra, and that is the truth of his religion. And so he says, yo, I gotta come meet my heroes. And they say, okay, bet, sounds good. And so the Kandra religion is the Terrace religion. Sazed embarks to the homeland with Tensoon to convince the other Kandra about the days coming, because he wants Vin to do that, but he's gonna have to settle for the announcer. Tensoon becomes a horse. And
Peter, the horse is here.
We somehow managed to sneak a Family Guy reference into our Hero of Ages discussion. I love that. So Tensoon becomes a horse. They arrive at the Pist of Hath Sin, where the homeland is, and Sazed is escorted inside. Tensoon's like, all right, have fun, do your best. I'm going to go do some other shit. So he eventually meets with the first generation after the second generation's kind of being a bunch of assholes. And they finally are like, fine. Second generation, go away. Sazed, let's talk. And they start chatting. And that's kind of where we leave off with the Kandra for right now.
Which, like, huge reveals of, like, to Sazed, who's burning through all of his religions, losing all absolute faith he ever had in anything on his core beliefs. And then Tensoon's just like,
in a moment, he says one word, and he's like, bet? Let's go.
He's like, you want some of this good shit? You want some of this right here?
I need it.
Right. Come on, man.
Give it to me. I crave the knowledge.
I crave the knowledge.
They crave that mineral. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
Oh, it's like, you know, the goats that can be on like fucking 87 degree cliffs.
Yeah.
And they're just like licking salt on the side. There's an old Tumblr post, and it's like, they crave that mineral. And then I saw one from one of the Creme posting or whatever. And it's Szeth and Kaladin together in Shin, and they see goats on the side. And Kaladin's like, Szeth, they're surge binding. Because they're just like...
Yo, when did the goats say their ideals?
Oh, fuck.
Bye before bye.
I can't wait until Goat Simulator 3 when you can be a goat radiant. It's going to be really fun.
It pulls out their radiant gun. Oh, shit. I was going to make another joke, and I forgot it now. That's okay.
Too bad.
Too damn bad.
All right, so cut back to Vin. Vin tries to escape, but is captured and confronted by Yeoman, who says he's not a Mistborn, even though he can burn atium. That's weird.
Huh.
Never thought about that before.
Have you heard of the word foreshadowing?
Is that the thing on the penis?
Do you think when it sees a shadow, it retreats because there's 6 more days of winter?
I call my dick Adam Sandler because Groundhog Day. Is he in that movie?
No, he is not. It's Phil Murray.
Phil Murray or Bill Murray?
Huh?
Bill Murray or Phil Murray?
Bill Murray.
Who's Phil Murray?
I don't know.
You didn't say that, did you?
No, I didn't.
Cool.
I said Bill Murray. Anyways, all right, we're back in. So
Right. So Yeoman's like, I'm not a Mistborn, but I'm not a Mistborn, but I'm not a rapper.
I'm
you know that
built
reference?
different.
You know that reference?
No.
Thinks it's all part of the Lord Ruler's plan. Vin says that she's the Lord Ruler's heir, not Kelsier's. So, like, you should listen to me because I'm the Lord Ruler now.
Mhm.
And he's like, whatever. And then Ruin's running around and gloating, and she's trading information with the Yeoman. She finds out that he's an ATM misting. That's a thing that can happen. And all the caches are near mines. And we find out that Ruin cannot see where there's a lot of metal. It's blinding to him, which is very important.
That's crazy.
Yep. It's very, very important because why does he want this ATM so badly?
Mhm.
Mars shows up on Ruin's behalf in Vadrix demanding the ATM, but Yeoman's like, we only ever had 7 beads in the cache. That's all that was there. And he's so mad and he screams.
Angry.
He's angry.
Very angry boy.
And then so Yeoman's like, what does the Lord Rulers want us to do? And Marsh is like, the Lord Ruler's dead, and just kind of walks out. and Yeoman's super upset about this. Ellen and Hammond order the return to Luthadel because they think that Vin can handle herself, and they think, well, the Mistspirit didn't want us to attack, so maybe we shouldn't. So then the Lord Ruler Ruin finds this really odd, and he has Yeoman send his troops on him, and Vin is like bluffing with his confusion, be like, haha, we're turning back because we found the ATM and we're not going to tell you where it is. So then Marsh is like, go fight them. And then Ruin rips away control of those new 30,000 Koloss. I think they found 20,000. So there's 30,000 total from their 10,000 that they was left after the frenzy. She's managed to steal a vial from Marsh. Does Duralin push into... she does a steel push lobotomy on him, you know what I'm saying? And shoots her earring into him and draws on the mist after taking her earring out. Interesting. He almost breaks control of it, but he flees. And then she puts the earring back in.
and you're just like, God damn it.
You're like, then, dot.
Preservation, damn it.
Dot. Let's connect these here, okay? Let's make those connections, those capital C connections. And then actually almost gets through the same way she did on the Khandra and the Koloss, but he's able to break away and flees before she could kind of take over his mind. But she kind of sees through it for a second and kind of sees the real Martian there for a moment.
And then when she puts on the earring, it's just that gif of everybody slapping their foreheads, just...
Yeah, that's from Airplane, I think.
Yes.
I'm probably gonna have a giant red mark on my head. That was a really good slap, but it's probably gonna be bright red now.
It doesn't beat the Oreo though.
All right, side story here. So we're playing D&D one day, right? At one of our players, Brian, when he was hosting our D&D campaign, we take a little break after about 2.5 hours of filming. And I was like, oh, can I have a gluten-free Oreo? And he's like, sure. And he just throws it at me so hard. It literally thunks off of my eye. My entire optical, orbital, whatever this area is called, bounces off, breaks skin. And I am like, my eye is like nearly shut closed for the rest of the session that we were filming. I have this footage somewhere. It's not online, but I have this somewhere. How loud was it?
It was
it rattled my head.
Dude, it was a solid, like solid ass thud of just like, maybe not that loud, but it was solid point blank Oreo to the eye. Light black eye.
There's a
eye
cut.
swelled up a
I
little
think there's a
bit.
small cut under my eyeball. There's probably only a handful of people in the world who have ever been injured by an Oreo before, and I am
one of them. It's an elite group.
What is it? We something few. What's the Marines? We
The
proud few.
The few, the proud, the Oreos.
That's me. I'm God's strongest soldiers. I'm one of God's strongest soldiers.
God sends his strongest soldiers the hardest missions.
For me, it's just tummy aches.
Just tummy aches.
And Oreo bruising. Holy shit. So, anyway, yes.
Yep. Breaks control.
Yep. So, almost breaks control, but he flees. And then Yeoman's like, okay, yeah, sorry, my bad. Alan, get in here. And then Vin goes to help. They are able to safely get inside Vadrix. But Vin can't call in the mist again. The Colossus are outside of the city. And Vin's like, you know what? I'm going to do a distraction. Because remember, Ruin can hear everything and see what you write. So
Can't see ATM.
Yes, but also this is her diversion. She's saying, I need to go get the ATM cash, and goes to Luthadel. It's not in Luthadel. They don't know where it is. They're just trying to throw him off, throw off the scent. So she does that, hoping that Ruin will start focusing on her. So she starts booking it to Luthadel using her famous patented horseshoe hopping technique. And Elend and Yeoman are discussing the mist sickness. Yeoman mentioned that there must be 16 metals because it's a holy number. And they're like, oh shit, that's probably true.
What now?
Elend also starts making the connection that, man, this sickness looks a lot like what happens when Allomancers snap and come to their power. So they're like, hold on a second, and gives one of the soldiers a full Mistborn vial so that they can try to burn something and find out the mists have been making mistings this whole time.
The entire time?
Yep, the entire time the mists are actually trying to help. This is preservation's last gift to humanity. And I think off screen here, I forgot to put this in. I think after his conversation with Elend, his charades conversation with Elend, we actually see him die. And they said, if I'm remembering how it goes correctly, it's like no one was there on top, but at that time, like a god's body descended to the ground, and Laris, was where they stood, but with no one around to witness the death of a god. And we know at this point, Kelsier is there to take up Laris' this shard.
Yes.
So during this time, which is not even in this part, this is a Mistborn secret history deep cut shit. Laris dies. Kelsier steals the thing that the Irie were going to try to capture the shard in, uses it to absorb and give himself the power, and is very briefly right now the shard of preservation.
And he realizes it's tough to be a god.
It is tough to be a god. What is that reference again?
It's a song. It's, I believe, the Road to El Dorado.
So they all of a sudden have a new army of mistings at their disposal, and so the Kola start attacking, but now they have a bunch of like they have steel pushers, they have iron pullers, they've got thugs, they've got people, they've got tin eyes, they have all the physical mistings start fighting back. So there's a new army to take on the Kolos. Cut back to Urto. Spook hears a voice telling him to send a message to Vin in steel. This is Kelsier as the Shard of Preservation talking to him, saying he can control anyone who is pierced by metal. Vin, take out your earring is what this message says. So Gordel, who joined them on the trip, Gordel was, I believe, one of the guards in front of the Lord Ruler's keep in Creedic Shaw, where she's like, hey, put down join us, you're a Ska guard. We're rebelling right now. Get in this bitch. It's a party. I believe Gordel was one of those.
Yeah, come join our band. Fishing for pasta. Fishing
for pasta, of course. And then so Gordel on the way to Vadrix is killed by Marsh. And then, but what's important is Marsh then sees this note meant for Vin, and this plants the seed of how he can help. So then he starts booking it to Luthadel, and we have now officially entered what I identify. This is now the Sanderlanche.
This is the Sanderlanche.
It kind of started with the like discovering the mistings
and the Colossus starting to attack.
But this is where shit gets crazy,
absolutely insane.
Yeah.
All right, want me to take it on from here?
Absolutely.
Perfect. All right, so Sanderlanche begins. Like
Marathon.
We're already getting smacked with so much information, and he's just like, you want what he's having? And you're like, yes,
So
I do.
We're done with like consolidated POVs. We are going through the standard language as it is written in the book. So
Yes. Sazed in the first generation talk about ruin and preservation, and Sazed finds their hidden ATM storage, who is actually Ruin's body.
So the Lord Ruler was putting it away this whole time for a rainy day. This is that rainy day.
Just in case. Vin arrives in Luthadel with 13 Inquisitors. They're waiting for her to attack her when she says she won't tell them where the ATM is. Marsh captures and tortures her, breaking bones, but eventually seizes control when he thinks about how she was the daughter Kelsier and Mare never had, which that's already making me emotional.
I know.
That was such a beautiful moment, and he breaks through just enough to rip out her earring, and she's able to absorb the mists again.
And he loved Mare too.
And he loved Mare too. That's right. That's right.
Kelsier got her in the end. So it kind of came full circle for him of like, I can do this for her and also my brother.
And while this is going on, Tensoon notices that the mists do change, and he starts following it towards Luthadel because he's like, shit is happening, and I need to be there. Spook has everyone in Urto hide in the caverns because he's like, shit's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Shit's going down. The Koloss at Phaedrix withdraw and start heading towards Luthadel because they also sense the mists are changing. And Ruin's like, fuck.
Yep.
Vin then solos 12 Inquisitors and then nearly kills Marsh before vanishing after absorbing all of the mists. Fucking insane.
Yeah, about to finish off Marsh, literally teleports out of there and goes full ascension.
The people of Phaedrix retreat into the caverns. Yeoman gives Ellen his bead of ATM, says he's a seer, which is an ATM misting. Sazed tells the Khandra to remove their blessings, but Kenpar arrives to depose the first and locks Sazed up. Vin is now fully ascended and as preservation at this point, and is now fighting Ruin, seeing the world as her mind expands and she can see everything, but then also discovers the limitations of being a shard.
Well, and she's trying to fight him through like changing the world. He's trying to erupt the ash mound. She's trying to block it out. They're canceling each other because they're so evenly matched.
Exactly. Ellen finds Penrod dead in Luthadel and starts making his way towards the pits. Tensoon then rescues Sazed and the first generation, which again, Tensoon being a fucking badass. Ruin begins trying to control the Khandra, and Hayek tries to get them to pull out their blessings. So we see this, they're starting to realize, oh shit, this is how Ruin is getting his most influence and is trying to stop all of his potential avenues of attack and bring in the Ruin, like basically to foil all of their plans to survive. Sazed gets his metal mine and holds them in. So he is using all of the power that he has left to keep them trapped. Then reaches Ellen and gets him, Demur, and the other Mistfallen to Sazed. But Vin finds that she is way too evenly matched with Ruin and cannot defeat him on her own. Ellen gets all of his new seers to consume the ATM, and they start fighting the incoming Koloss. Sazed is just feeding soldiers ATM left and right, constantly off of the well that they find.
I think we may have skipped over too. Sazed, like Tensoon was choking him out, and he fell unconscious and woke up surrounded by mist wraiths.
Did.
No, it's all good. Yeah, so many of them did pull out.
Yes, the blessings.
Their blessings and
became mist wraiths.
There's a term for it. I can't believe I didn't put it in, but the time of the
oh yes,
the time of the something is here, and then they pull it out.
Yep, correct.
Pull out game so strong.
World saving strong. Imagine your pullout game being so strong you save the world.
Me every day, because no one wants me to have kids.
Sick.
It's honestly every time I do, it's a blessing. Let's just say. Could you imagine more me's running around? Whoa.
Dude, honestly, that's why rubbings are better. Okay, so Marsh shows up and starts fighting Ellen. So Marsh had a little bit of control and has lost it and is now completely controlled by Ruin. Human leads the Koloss to where they think the ATM is. Marsh and Ellen strike each other, but Marsh heals while Ellen does not. And the Koloss discover that the ATM is gone, and Ellen says, "No, man, we pulled one over on you."
Yep.
And they have consumed all of it. And then this really shocking moment because I didn't expect it to go that brutal. But Ellen is then decapitated by Marsh
with the obsidian axe.
an obsidian axe. Just
And Vin sees this as a shard.
and Vin pulls all her power together, inspired by Ellen, and specifically attacks Ruin.
Yeah.
Both vessels end up being killed, and Vin, Ellen, and Ati all come down and are laying near each other. I'm getting emotional already.
Dude, this book is great.
This next part is the hardest part, and I think it hits everybody the same too. Of Sazed ends up being in the right place at the right time and takes up both shards and realizes that the fact that he is in fact the hero of ages.
I am unfortunately the hero of ages.
And he's able to remake the world using his ascended mind and the knowledge that has been passed on for generations.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the end of the Hero of Ages before the epilogue. So reactions, do you want to, let's do the epilogue and then.
Yeah, because the epilogue's real short. So in the epilogue, so Sazed remakes the world because every religion had a little piece of truth.
Mhm.
It wasn't that one religion was right or one religion was wrong. They all had a little piece of truth, and that collective truth let him remake Scadrial to basically how it was pre-Lord Ruler ascending and changing the world. And so once this occurs, in the epilogue, Spook finds the bodies of Ellen and Vin with a book written by Sazed describing everything that led up to this, what we call the Catasandra, as well as all the knowledge in his battle mind. He has made Spook the only and final Mistborn, reversed his 10 savant abilities, and said there are 2 more alloys that no one knows about, and left him a picture of the flower from Mare.
The Hero of Ages, I unfortunately am the Hero of Ages. It always chokes me up a bit too, but the scene that breaks me is Vin and Ellen being found laying at peace next to each other, and Sazed putting in the book of I spoke to both of them, but figured that they both deserved a rest.
And they were ready to go on.
It still kills me. Like that absolutely ripped my heart out.
And the way it's described too, there's just this strange redheaded man that is next to Vin and Ellen, and Vin's body is leaking mist and his is leaking black smoke, which is how we saw it described when she ascended. When Vin ascended to preservation and saw Ruin in the spiritual realm, / physical realm, in this like weird space, he was just a cloud of black smoke. This very yin and yang, which is a very apt comparison of those powers. It's that balancing force. And there is no person more suited. And we saw this and I mentioned this in Hero of Ages, or I'm so sorry, in Well of Ascension, that we see a side of Sazed, not just the intellectual side, but this like super emotionally intelligent, but also vulnerable person who knows how to be strong, but is not. He's still human. He's still a person, and he has so many emotions about this, and feeling like he doesn't have a place in this world anymore. His terrorist people are pretty much effectively gone. Everything is led to nothing matters anymore. His purpose in this world is null and void. Until Tensoon said one single word that would forever change the lives of him and Gadriel. And now we have harmony. It's the Hero of Ages, I think, is probably one of the best endings to a story, like a trilogy, that I think I've ever read. It is almost like a near perfect 3 books. I loved 1, 2, and 3. I don't really know I think 3 probably by proxy has to be my favorite.
Yeah.
Especially as it starts setting up like some of those greater Cosmere implications first mention of Adonalsium, shards, um, learning more about how shards work and what their limitations are. It's just there's so much packed into a book, and there's not many books I've read that handle emotion, action, lore, everything so well encapsulated in
Mhm.
a final little tying of the bow.
Yeah.
It is such an incredible trilogy,
Hmm.
and it is just as impactful the second time I read it.
Yeah. And I love that the heroes they go on their own journey, and they do it's like a melancholy right into the sunset moment.
Hmm.
Because you know, a lot of times you're usually like the heroes win and survive and they live happily ever after too. But they went through so much together as teenagers becoming young adults, leading an entire society that is crumbling and coming down around them, finding each other, finding love in a hopeless place. I can't resist making a reference. They found love in a hopeless place, and and instead of just being restored and just allowing to live out, they decided that they deserved a rest, and Sazed brought them back to a normal state for them to be buried and seen together with, and they can pass on into the afterlife together because they both, after everything they've gone through, they do deserve a rest.
And honestly, bringing back Ellen may not have been possible. We know that the more heavily invested an
Mhm.
individual is, the longer their spirit resides in the cognitive realm before going to the world beyond. We don't know. It's not spiritual realm. It's not the cognitive realm. It's
Mhm.
someplace beyond and through this unknown place. But Ben may have resided for a little bit longer. In fact, Sazed does say I talked to her and he didn't. I don't think he got to talk to Ellen. I think Ellen probably immediately went on. He was pretty heavily invested as a Mistborn, but not. He wasn't a shard of
Yeah,
Aethnalsium. He wasn't a sliver of eternity, and so Ben could have come back, but she
but
probably
for Vin, her world has moved on.
she did her job. She set up a world for others, and now she can just live out the rest of her whatever life that is
Mhm.
beyond with her person. Isn't that what we all
Which is
want?
beautiful.
It is so beautiful.
She left behind a world because her world continued.
Exactly. And it's was truly beautiful. And it's not often that you have we're a little desensitized because like things like Game of Thrones, where I don't feel like you make as strong as of an emotional connection to some of these characters. Like where there's a lot of brutal books
Mhm.
that kill off their main characters and things like that. But to be able to have so many characters you strongly identify with, and when they pass, and also a good amount of them pass. I mean, think about it, we lost clubs, we
Mhm.
lost Calcier, kind of. We lost um uh y- clubs, docks, Kelsier, um Marsh. Well, kind of.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, we
We
did lose
effectively
Marsh.
lost him here.
Yeah, we effectively lost Sazed.
We effectively lost Azid as we know him. And we lost literally the main character in Ellen. Like there is a lot of loss in Era 1. And usually I don't get like, and when I was reading The Witcher and watching a lot of like Game of Thrones and all those like more like the boys, I don't really form like strong emotional
Mhm.
connections. But things just hit way harder in a lot of these Sanderson books because, as I mentioned earlier, your connection to these characters are really strong. You feel like you can identify with them, and you really feel their deaths when it happens,
Mhm.
whether it's a true death or a character death. Marsha's a character death.
Mhm.
Sazed is effectively a character death. Kelsier is effectively a character death
Mhm.
because Kelsier, we know
He's
now,
not the same.
he is a cognitive shadow. He is pretty much just a distilled form of his values of survive. That kind of distilled. The nuance of the character once you become a cognitive shadow, the nuance of that character starts deteriorating
Mhm.
because you're more of a concept. Kelsier is closer to a spren than he
Yeah.
is a human or a real spirit now. Same with Sazed. the vessel versus the shards. We talked about that a lot in Stormlight, is that what the power wants and what the vessel
Mhm.
wants
Can
conflict.
be at odds. Yeah.
And oftentimes the power ends up winning. When it doesn't, really bad things happen. The power's got to be power.
Yeah.
And I think Sazed is well equipped to be
To find a
that
balance.
balance.
Yeah. I really love the way he approaches, because like you were saying, Era 1 has so much depressing things that happen. We lose so many characters that we learn to care about and love so much. But there's still hope, and there's still that thread of being able to persevere and push through these seemingly insurmountable detriments, this insurmountable, like, looming presence of ruin bringing the end to their world and their stories. And instead they find a way to provide a better world for everyone else, even if their stories come to an end.
Mm-hmm.
I love that things start to look so bleak, but they still find a way to put in a little bit of hope to where it feels like a great culmination of the story.
Mhm.
Everything reaches a point. I don't feel unsatisfied with the way it that it went. I'm happy that it was positive, but it doesn't feel like it was a cheat.
Mhm.
It felt very natural with the way everything built and led up to. And obviously, you want to see people succeed. You want to see your favorite characters continue on. But it felt like such a great culmination of those 3 books and their stories.
Absolutely. A character feels more important because they were able to do the things they needed to do, and you know that their story's over. I think knowing that there's a finality to a character lets you reflect on them in a way of, like, my opinion on them is now solidified of this person.
Yeah.
As opposed to more open-ended characters, we'll see Marsh again in Era 2. In fact, Marsh's reputation precedes him so much that Iron Eyes is
Mhm.
like a character known on different worlds that's referenced in, like, Tress. Like, he's synonymous with death
Oh,
on
yeah.
other
That's right.
worlds.
Yeah.
And, kind of, die the hero, live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Mhm.
What happens with Kelsier as Thydekar? Obviously, major spoilers, but what happens with Kelsier as Thydekar?
Mhm.
What ends up actually happening with Marsh in the long run? What ends up happening with Sazed as
As a conflicted 2 shards. He's holding 2 shards. That's not very heard of.
there's a theory, and there's an epigraph in the first book that says, "And his name will be Discord," because Sazed's
Mhm.
name was Discord. His shard name might not be Harmony; it might be Discord. Like,
Ooh, that's a
that's a big
that's a
theory
big
right now.
one.
Is
Yeah.
that Harmony is not Harmony? Harmony is Discord, and that these conflicting powers might eventually be, instead of being in harmony with one another, might create something worse. Especially with what we see with autonomy
Mhm.
happening in Era 2, at the end of Era 2.
Yeah.
Autonomy is encroaching as a red cloud on Scadrial. What's that going to look like? Are we going to live long enough to see yourself become the villain? Are we going to see Sazed become bad? We don't know.
Mhm.
There's a lot. It's 95% finalized.
Yep.
That, like, what happens in this book is done, but
there's still breadcrumbs, and there's still more
breadcrumbs
to go pursue.
Some like, this is our first time we get some really, like, large Cosmere wide implications that are really cool.
Yeah.
So a couple of these characters we'll see on Scadrial once again, or on Roshar once again.
Mhm.
We'll see Felt in the Ghostbloods.
We'll see Hoyd.
We'll always see Hoyd. And we'll see Demu visit Roshar in one of the interludes in Way of Kings as part of the 17th Shard. Not to be confused with the website 17th Shard, which is thank you to the people at 17th Shards. I don't know that I got to meet any of them at JordanCon, but
no.
they are apparently a good group of people, and their chapter summaries.
Maybe
are
if we
awesome.
can get to when we get to Dragonsteel Nexus, we can meet them.
Yay! Yeah. Oh, there's a million things we could say about Hero of Ages. There's so much that happens, but it's another potential possible future world hopper. Do you remember the name? Do you remember in Rhythm of War?
Okay.
when they finally get to lasting integrity, the stronghold of the honor spren, there is a Scadrian there named 16.
I'll pretend like I do remember that character.
There is a man there who, based on descriptions, he is Scadrian, and his name is 16. There is a theory that is Spook hanging out in Shadesmar with the honor spren.
That would be wild.
That would be...
That's a fun one. I like that a lot.
That would be interesting. There's also, I think there's a theory that...
because in Era 2, they say that he's dead at that point, right?
He's dead at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's Mistborn. Last Mistborn.
Could be a cognitive shadow.
Could be a cognitive shadow. Or he's just found a way to live forever. I mean, there's a lot of people who show up who is like, whoa, wasn't your story hundreds of years ago? Felt in Demu. In 300 years, they'll be on Roshar. How are they living this long?
Well, he felt that he couldn't die. Yeah, sure. That works.
That works, yeah. Nice one.
Cool. Any lasting thoughts on Hero of Ages?
I love this book. Reading it destroys me every single time. I cried, I think, just as hard. I held it together for the review, our discussion, but the second time reading it was just as painful, almost more painful, because you get to I think you really get to fully experience everyone and really see their characters from the beginning, knowing what happens to them. You start watching for those small things, and it may be fun to do a whole like Era 1 like kind of talk with everyone at some point.
Just trying to get their thoughts on like different perspectives on it, because we did a review and discussion of each individual book, but like
for sure,
a review of it would be good.
Yeah, I think so. I think that'd be really fun to do with like Victoria or Brian or something like that. So, this was great. We that was our first little Cosmere series, kind of wrapped up in a bow. We might do a little small one on Secret History too. Would be fun, because God, Secret History
it's got some good stuff in there.
Crazy. But do you have any other thoughts on this?
No, I love this book. I love this series. I do wish I probably would have started this instead of Stormlight first, but it was great coming back to it. And like, what a great trilogy, honestly. Like, I love talking about it, and it's going to be so much fun, and I can't wait to see a different media adaptation for this, because it's just going to be incredible.
I think so too. As we mentioned, I'm both nervous and excited, just because it's something we hold super dear. We want to be the best, most distilled, amazing version possible of it, but we have to temper expectations and hope it's at least enjoyable. I have confidence it'll be fun. So only time will tell if we look back on the Mistborn adaptation positively or not. Hopefully positively. Let's have it be a Witcher season 1, not a Witcher season 2.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, I am unfortunately Mike.
And I am unfortunately Tony. And we will see you once more. I did it.
Did it.